right. We are live, so thank you for those who have joined. Welcome to the U-Turn. This is the platform that is dedicated to empowering our communities through impactful stories, conversations, and resources that we provide both in English and Dinka language. So thank you for choosing the U-Turn because this platform is the only platform that I know that is sharing informative content that educates, inspires, and uplifts people, while at the same time, promoting cultural awareness and positive change in our community. Every Saturday, we bring change makers on this platform and spotlight their work to give us some inspiration and ideas on how to better, deliver and in our community and empower our people directly. So today we actually joined by Deng Garang Kuei, a new person, Nongwek. It's someone that is doing so much for the youth, for our country, and it's someone that is inspirational. So today he will be speaking about agriculture and why youth should, focus more on agriculture rather than a lot of things that they're doing at the moment. Before we give them a chance, I want to also acknowledge that Facebook is currently deleting our live shows every 28 days. So for you to stay current and not lose every single conversation we have here, please subscribe on our YouTube channel because there you will get all the information and you will catch up on this conversation at your convenience. So I want to come back. Without further ado, I want to give Deng Garang a chance to share a bit about himself. What I know is my great colleague, agricultural economist, youth empowerment champion, but he's more. So Denga, I want to give this opportunity to you. Can you share a bit about your education empowerment journey and what inspired you to become a champion for youth empowerment and agriculture for economic development in South Sudan in particular?
Thank you so much, Paul Kujela Koito. Koichi Ben, it has actually been preached all over the week, and I think everyone was anticipating to hear from me. And I'll be happy to share my own inspiration. Wanna go die. Yeah, cái duy cho ba kia lưới là tông giang, chế coi tông lần lý the nhẹ, cái tiền là bán giảm, lekin anh deal jam tong jeng chan most viewers ko ju be la pinga ko won ping tong jeng ke ga ko kor be ke wel yen ke tong ban jam nang ka ti ke leng lit brutal ya tin ke yen ke be to ken ya ani chol de ngarang pai when we way ke ga rin cha yeah my official name and chol David Deng and get my official name to in all my documents ke ga rin when koren ke ga yu in and leki ri ke di ken panda ani chol de ngarang kwe ke ga rin che ka yeah to share a bit about my education background ke ka ba gol at helias jani the manine laren to kule yeah actually and di ran je pye rani chol garang kwe was one of the educated people yen agriculturalist who educationalist. So it's also an educator. So rin ke warin jelen most of the most title ni ko ju chena I chol usas garam ko yen ka ke ga ni ko ju ke yen. Yeah, but then career red one yen unfortunately he passed on when I was still at my earlier primary school. So I cannot really say in Luyan inspired, but the fact remains and above pan ran won that was the first inspiration. Chan and ken bi ran that kind of college. My education journey actually began as early as 1999. And Kilo Nursery School, I actually started off direct from class one. And a goal in my village to Kulcholwer Mill, every small school, a goal kanisa to Jalbe Jora Belar, a place that was a little bit spacious. In Gate Galen, my class one thing up to class three. Now 2001, Church Mission Society, both South Sudan, supporting primary education. Across the three counties. So Bor County initially had about 5 primary schools. Tukul Kerouac to Kulnyang, Tukul to Paria, Tukul to Tejol Malwalabur, Malwalabur to Kamia Bankanada. And then in Anyidi there was one school that was Tianwei Primary School. In Baidi there was Minding Primary School, and in Jale there was one school that was located at Yidnomato, Kami, Kolmerek, Kenalian. So Yinalian particularly in Gateto to Kulkenetin. So among those 5 schools, and Chibujor Kulere and Tianwei Primary School, then I started from class 4. That is as earlier, that was in 2002. So when you taught 2002, 2003, 2004, I 2005 can Jallar Kakuma. Then I was in class 7. Almost actually I was going to class 8. Alar Kakuma, and I was over ambitious anyway. So at at my childhood, I was very ambitious. I wanted to achieve bigger things anyway. Though it was very big because when you walk by, koi ke to ache ko would you pure a lot in very little education. But still they were inspirational. They used to tell us good stories about being futures of being tomorrow leaders of tomorrow. So that was a bit of inspiration, but it wasn't enough. So Nalar Kakuma Wologudo class 7. That is in 2006. I repeated class 7. I was in Sobat Primary School in Getayantin. So I actually spent 1 year in Delaware. It wasn't easy, it was tough. I equal knows because in Garunu walk to Delaware 2007. There were a lot of issues. There was repatriation, and there was a bit of insecurity. So, candidates of that year, we were a bit disturbed by those two scenarios. Nevertheless, Anjabitiam, Kular down country, with the support of my cousin, Gugwanagai, I joined secondary school. I went to St. Luke Boys, Catholic Diocese of Nakuru. In Kachan Bulatin is based in Nakuru. In Kachan Quentin to talk in 2011. Worked talk together one equal. So I didn't do so well, but I managed to get B plane. That was my mean grade. Despite not having scored well in Kiswahili, I still managed to score B plane. Generally, inspiration here and my career choice was basically in sciences. Particularly, I had two in mind. I wanted to be an engineer. Actually, that was my first ambition. I was good at math and physics and chemistry, so I wanted to pursue my bachelor in electrical engineering telecommunication option. So that was my ambition. Chanonini Chanato Nairobi, actually the environment changed. So there was a bit of what you can see Leba pursue in when you get to the university. So that decision actually drove me to be reading so that I get a grade that will take me to the university. I actually knew about WUSC, but it wasn't my priority. I was reading to get a grade that will take me to the university to pursue a course of my dream. So that was the drive. So now on laptop, I was told there is an opportunity. So I applied for WUSC, and I happened to be shortlisted for TOPL. In Ketichiwala Yo Philip, I think that was the first time we met. We did TOPL. I think I also passed well. I was among the people who actually went for oral interview. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to the final list. Yeah. So that was actually, it was a shortfall. I became disheartened because it was an opportunity that everyone was actually inspiring to get. So that thing did not deter me from actually pushing uh, forward. The same with the help of my cousin. He actually asked me to apply for an admission within one of the public universities within Kenya. So I applied at Moi University, uh, the same field, electrical engineering, telecommunication option. Go ENN. Now, admission le benbe, we couldn't manage it. So my cousin asked me to go for an alternative, and his preferred field was me going for an economic course. That was his preference, but I turned it down. I said maybe let me not do economics, but since I did agriculture, let me do the combinations of economics and agriculture. And so I had to seek an advice from experts. So I left Moi University. I went to Chepkoilel University College, which was still a university college of Moi University. Basically, that was the main school for agriculture and science for Moi University. So I went there. I went to the Department of Agricultural Economics, and luckily I met one of inspirational guys. It was so inspiring. I met Dr. Anderson Kipko H, who was the head of the department. I interacted with him, and I actually told him what I wanted. I told him that I wanted to do a course. I like agricultural economics, but I don't have much knowledge about what it will take me into, since I had chosen a different field, which was basically engineering. Uh, he actually went into the course. He gave me the course details, and after our conversation, I saw that agricultural economic was a diversified field. After completing it, it will give me several opportunities, job opportunities. Starting from maybe being, if I wanted to be in an academia, I'll definitely be a lecturer, or I become a researcher in the same field. Uh, I can also become an economic analyst, and I can also become maybe a manager in a certain agricultural farm or agricultural industry. So agricultural economics was giving me a diversified knowledge, and it was really giving me an opportunity to have several careers within when I completed. And then one thing that enticed me was his love for agricultural economics. He did agricultural economics at bachelor, he did it at masters, and he did it at PhD. And then he was a renowned researcher in the field of agricultural economics. So Dr. Anderson Kipkoech became my first mentor in that field. Agricultural economics was near art. So I told him, just facilitates, I wanted to pursue this course. And interestingly, he told me, do you know the late Dr. John Garang? I told him, yes, he was our first president, and he was the first vice president for Sudan. Because then we were still under Sudan. We had not succeeded from Sudan. Then he told me Dr. John Garang is a renowned agricultural economist. So I said, wow, if I pursue this course, maybe I may be like Dr. John Garang. So from there, I actually shifted from being an engineer to being an agricultural economist. So that was the turning point of my career. So I enrolled in 2012. Actually, I enrolled ahead of the WOOS class. Those of Akwal, actually, they left in August 2013, and I enrolled in 2012, August. So they actually left 1 year after I completed my first year. So daman on jail work and my first year kajatul. So from there it wasn't easy, but in 2016 I successfully completed my bachelor degree, scoring second class upper division, which was also good. I could actually proceed for masters direct without maybe looking for an experience. Yes, but yen on yen token and then on pure bubble. So my cousin actually asked me if I could proceed with my masters, but I told him Kichalu is enough. Let me go and apply it. So after my graduation in 2016, I left for South Sudan to maybe uh, pursue my dream in working in any agricultural institution or in the ministry whatsoever. Now, things were not easy. I came, Kadaman came by, came react, and people were in a state of recovery. So things were not the same. I looked for a job. Uh, I applied everywhere. It wasn't easy. So I started with a voluntary job. When Janet Ting until job for 3 months, constantly applying for a job. I couldn't get it. We are opting for being a volunteer. So luckily, I got a voluntary job with Catholic Relief Service, South Sudan program. They were implementing resilient food security program, a 5-year project which had several components, of which food security and livelihood was the overall component, but there were other components within, including nutrition, wash, which was water, hygiene, and sanitation. So I got a voluntary job at the Department of Wash and Nutrition to become a nutrition uh, volunteer. So basically, Achabalo, because of one thing, I knew Koi Lui or the organizations that were on the ground, I got someone with an experience. But I just came fresh from school, so I need that experience. So I took that job. I was not paid, and people were actually laughing at me. They were like, why does a graduate resort to doing a voluntary jobs when there are several opportunities that are well paying? Yeah, so I was telling them it's enough for me. I know why I'm doing this. So from there, I actually updated my CV as a community volunteer in nutrition and wash with Catholic Relief Service, which was a renowned organization within the state. Yeah, then I started working within that project. I did several trainings. My main role as a Chadwan community mobilizer, doing house to house counseling, things on nutrition aspect, especially nutrition for young children and lactating women and pregnant women. So it was maternal young child nutrition program. So why Chabwan yen we give nutrition messages Lonian from 0 month to 6 months. So there was an aspect of exclusive breastfeeding. So I did it passionately for about 6 months, and I did not stop there. I also joined another voluntary service with the Upper Nile Youth Mobilization for Peace and Development Agency. They were implementing a 6-month project on building resilience in gender-based violence. So I also joined in as a volunteer. So I was doing both of them, 2 days here and 3 days here, a purely voluntary work. For both of them were actually based on advocacy because it was cascading message to people, and then people will have to replicate. The chemical message being especially message of nutrition, they'll apply, and definitely they will be healthy when they adapt those nutritional messages. The same on the other hand, uh, uh, violence, especially gender-based violence, was one of the aspects that was so rampant within our community. And I really love to maybe be part of the team that will eradicate gender-based violence. So I joined the advocacy on building resilience. And so in that aspect, I was doing a lot of, I was doing peer education trainings in primary and secondary schools. I was doing mass messaging, doing the radio talk shows. I was holding community dialogues with women leaders, church leaders, youth leaders, and even blog leaders. And at the state levels, I was also conducting trainings on the aspect of eradication of gender-based violence and the things that are considered to be gender-based violence internationally. So that was my best part of voluntarily work, and that is where I started the work of advocacy. That is in 2017. So I did both concurrently until uh, November 2017. That is when I got shortlisted by CRS. I had applied for several positions. Fortunately, I was shortlisted to do an interview as a monitoring and evaluation assistant in resilient and food security project, which was being implemented by Catholic Relief Service, a USAID funded project. Luckily, I went through and I signed my first contract in December 2017. So that was my second turning point in my life. Yeah. So from there, I started working until we won CRS for 6 months. My contract ended. Then I spent 2 months. I was reinstated, and everything went well. Actually, I worked with CRS for 1 year and 8 months, and I got promoted as a project officer for monitoring and evaluation. I was supporting 8 counties in data management and monitoring of the entire project of resilient and food security program. That is from 2019 to 2021. So in 2022, I was trained again on a developmental approach, which is called Reflect. Reflect is a developmental approach. It is called regenerated Freudian literacy through empowering community techniques. So that approach was introduced by CRS because CRS wanted to introduce a new component within their programming, which was integration of livelihood, integration of adult literacy into livelihood programming. So I was one of the trainees, and I don't know was it by good luck or it was out of competency. I was selected to be the lead trainer of trainers to be the lead TOT of that program. So I implemented that project for 2 years. That is from 2021 to 2022 with the resilient food security program. Then in 2023, resilient food security program ended, and then there was a new project which was basically being implemented in Eastern Equatoria and some parts of Jonglei State. It was called Pathway to Resilience. So Pathway to Resilience contracted me on a temporary duty assignment, which was TDY, to work with the consultant to implement integration of adult literacy into livelihood. So I worked with the consultant, and by good luck, I was given a 1 year contract as a senior project officer for adult literacy and livelihood. Yeah. So basically, that is my career. That is my career journey. And we want to see so through So from this experience, and kachan ke take. Are you guys getting me? And my internet was a little bit disturbed.
No, can you repeat the last few sentences?
Yes. So in Kebea, that was actually my last turning point in my career. So from the first time I became a graduate of agricultural economics, I had it in mind that agricultural economics is a diversified field. So this one actually encouraged me, and it made me pursue a lot of. I did a lot of trainings, and basically in food security, and the things that are gearing towards food security. And having worked in the food security program for 5 years and 8 months, actually gave me a clear idea of what was the gap that was missing. Yeah, because being a monitoring and evaluation officer, you know the entire implementation of the projects, from the goal, from the inputs, from activities that are being implemented, up to achieving that goal of maybe eradicating food security. I saw that there was a gap because within Jonglei there were several agencies that were implementing food security program, but still the food insecurity situation was still exacerbating. It was deteriorating. It was moving from good to worst. So therefore I realized there is a missing link that need to be actually fulfilled. Yeah, and I did not have an idea on where to start. Then in 2022 I got this program. I got SIMI program. SIMI program was a collaborative masters, collaborative masters in agriculture and applied economics, which was being offered by University of Nairobi in collaboration with African Economic Research Consortium. So I learned about this opportunity. So I read about it, and when I read about it, I found out that this program is actually building researchers and policymakers who will strengthening the agri-food system within the sub-Saharan African countries. Now, I realize that this is actually the missing link. Regardless of uh, having a lot of implementation within food security, there were two things that were missing: the aspect of research and the aspect of policy. These two things were missing. And without these two things, we cannot actually implement
Quite Louis hang up and you are very pleasant and very excited research and policy. Something yeah, and you go to a week internet a core of it boy. We got diet pretty much you know look yeah. We got open with video share a very inspiring story and catch all food insecurity, you know. I don't think it's something that people can live with for long because now now in food, being vulnerable to anyone who will give you food, and especially in the case of South Sudan. Yesterday, people just celebrate 16 May, which is like 42 years of struggle from the time, the think of injustice, like the new vision of South Sudan, Luyen realized to where we are here 42 years. And the vision of New Sudan, from my reflection, was to have a country that is resilient, to have a country that, that on equality of resources and opportunities for everyone, to have a country where security is paramount, to have a country where, kitchen lack. But now, we have the country, but we're not actually utilizing it well. And that's why we're talking now about food security. We were talking with Alakir behind the scene before the show, and she was reflecting about the idea of land. It's all a tium to know, but you will know for what? You will know for it so that we can use that land when we meet that you think, we are poor, I've been like where I jumped in, I've been work, I good for you need and the idea chima reru wa pana ger tene go ya pa the idea we didn't walk lo school go bulo kor because what to learn we don't have any real estate. So what we are selling our energy and our knowledge to acquire because of time to put in to get food when we rent pay or when we go to painting bin work on anything even na kiran go mi ara bu dom de keran in kera chopping but now quite on the ground quite of South Sudan it's supposed by a thought for many years by ben now no pinyi yile ba pur yile bala kwanye team yile bala kwanye tau yile ba ku maitin like you have everything even take our western education you don't need it if you have all these resources you just utilize kile jole du job and ngur krang right ke coaching kam bika lwe basically lwe ke chol job right you go bala lu kini ya wood kule idom meya right go on there and yen chol slavery kin ke yeran because you give all the services for free, but now I get dumb. So a modernized version of it, which is not good. Our young people on the ground, our government, policymakers, and researchers need to actually take advantage of the plan and implement. And that's why this conversation among Deng Garang Kuei, who has studied it, when Garang was here, agricultural economic because panda no it's abundance, and now it ding, and now if you River Nile, and now it's vast land like quite a thing that can feed us and even export excess that we don't have to suffer here in Kekwenka. And that's why this conversation is very important. I just maybe I can give Alakir or Dorcas to jump into perspective the real while we wait for Deng Garang Kuei to come back. Our internet, South Sudan is very shaky, but he's doing his best to use to use this platform, Benin, these things, Benin, can share so that someone may get inspired. And a specific focus today, youth. How can young people one of misconception that for farming illiterate people. I will say that question, and I believe all union in different ways. So thank you for joining this conversation. We call that look at this video share and not around the control around to you can get power of change that we talk about. So thank you for being here, for engaging with content, for letting your friends come and watch this show.
Absolutely, Akwalakur. I just want to reflect on the experiences. Yes, quite actually, but the true and the real learning is getting different perspectives and experiences. For example, Anato Sukulich, Anchela Balakwen, business, who my classmate about province Echol Alberta. I ran Canada, Kongich. That province I take a walk, I take a magic walk every grocery store in ringa tin ayana wakla white pandin classmate dian kana atawa ka class at top we studied marketing ko kacha je jam what are their plans after graduation and golwele anan budu panda nengich farm nengich ayana macho ko family business abala loy take over I will manage it. She went to get formal education, I go farm a band and I go lawyer support. This is not far from what we do. What are they work by? Tiana quite much work in and the modern needs are in sync. Na tinkarana chija much work which about then health issues come up, um, food insecurity come up. Lakini, they are not opening their mind enough to say how can we better manage the farm ago in various ways. So farming yes is fully commercialized. Running running okay, and that province is very rich actually. Kuiwe in Alberta, in Canada. So because law school could because in the office, real wealth is having land, having a farm, and not having the need balos college. Until recently, kawajat ning ping kwachipur kwanengok ake chela college. Na jepin here with technology, with global markets where they can go and showcase their cows or their produce. Go meet ken jatu waj bika losu college. A chika losu college ke meet abila duzadu big farm big ben manage agongo yendi agogo knowledge la do to come and apply it on how to make the farm more competitive in the market. There are different trade shows in Roloi, and Nyan Che Losu Kulich Kanian, Ujala Baba Din Ke Losu Kulich have that difference, and she's able to apply Kichila Lan Sukulich Goyin Kwan Panin. Why I say this is Miti I check out towards Sukulich, right? Some people have their parent or quite why can a cake to buy. Not very often they see this money work a source of income. Check a source of food security. Maybe it's happening now. Looking from my own experiences and stories, chakapinga, era anchela lui office kaya belula bar, town and the school bar, player man the musepa, but they actually are very rich. So if they can use resources to can solve their own problems. And I can see Deng Garang is back. Welcome back, Deng. We were just elaborating
Thank
on
you.
how Maniwak is not to be equated with illiteracy, or having land and farming is not to be equated with literacy. Give an example of my classmates that went to school solely because they want to go back and manage their family farm. And they go and participate in global trade shows and global markets. So I will leave it at that. Please continue, Dave.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Paul. And from there, yeah, I actually realized that there were two aspects that were actually missing in South Sudan, and we need people who will take the lead: the aspect of policy and the aspect of research. Maybe we have researchers, but even if we have research and we disseminate information, and there is no policy that is actually that is leading the implementation, so I took interest to apply, and in 2023 I became one of the scholars of AERC, pursuing my master's in agriculture and applied economics at University of Nairobi. Yeah, from there, actually, that was now the fourth turning point of my life, because it has been my dream to get to the University of Nairobi, being one of the best universities within the region. So I was like, I wasn't satisfied, but I felt like it was worth it being there and become one of the change makers. Yeah, through my interaction, one Kojala Yoken and my own experience, uh, this is now this is where I am, my academic journey. Yes, no worry the when I was still at work. I did my postgraduate diploma in monitoring and evaluation at Uganda Technology and Management University in Uganda. And I pursue masters in the same. I finished coursework and I'm still working on research. So hopefully I'll soon have two masters, one bachelor and one postgraduate diploma. So that is my education journey, and it wasn't an easy thing. It calls for a lot of determination. So Wabijalo, it has been long, but I think it is inspiring to other people who are actually having dreams. Wabijalo, to the questions of today, I think back to you, Alakir, you will guide us, and that is all about me. Thank you.
No, thank you before Vana Yena Lakiruj, because Alakirian this topic exciting area, agribusiness, agriculture for economic development. That's an area of passion. She actually requested this interview. I just want to say that we're copying Ping is that despite all the obstacles through Deng Garang Kuei, my colleague, we shared almost similar journey together. a team no roadblock. Whatever happened, and he continue. And what is someone that is very critical that I want to acknowledge, a cousin there who supported him to go through his education. A lot of us got support from our families, from our friends, from goodwill people. Pillars of hope, right? People that give their time, their money, and resources, big have lived, so that these people now can have the opportunity to pay it forward, just like what we are doing now, sharing knowledge that we have learned with others for free. This is knowledge that is paid by those people, those pillars of hope. Those people who put us through the education system, they gave it us for free, and that is very strong, because an obligation, something that you receive, you have to be grateful. So we are very grateful for the support, and your cousin, you can acknowledge, and your generation will be empowered for this support. Yeah, you mentioned, but then I'm very excited about the area of research and policy, because that is my expertise. That's my area of work. Research, policy and advocacy. Those are my core areas of work, and education or training. um, I want to, before Bani Yena Lakir and Dorka to take. I just want you to talk about the organization that you co-founded, and how how the value of research contribute to this, and to this, and the work experience that you have acquired in education. I tell that farming or agriculture achieve for the illiterate. And no misconception in our community na jan now chada do the bear tin je bear ton wapu, because it or ba walk that do koi pan jenga. So you need to educate on how to bring that misconception bunya. So now tell us more about your youth-led initiative, combat hunger in South Sudan. And could you share a bit about the vision, its progress so far, and challenges and successes that you are encountered? And then from there, Abjala Kirjala Domtok, Kubjala Chuadorkas. But that is my area of passion.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Yeah, Combat Hunger in South Sudan is a youth-led. Chairman Chinelo is a youth-led agricultural organization. We founded in 2024, and actually it came like a vision. To Louis you always, people can dream. People don't only dream while sleeping. Some people dream while awake. So, I've been having this dream of maybe doing something for my community, and it happened that my cousin Gabriel Gugwe, who is the CEO of Kombatanga in South Sudan, also had the same vision. So, Kulwar in channel of college, we happened to discuss. Actually, he sent me a text in one of the fine evenings. I was from class. When Gargul, if you can find time over the weekend, I wanted to discuss something with you. Well, it's okay. That day, go end you, and he was actually asking me like, now you are pursuing your masters. What next after maybe completing this? What is this masters taking you into? Yeah, so I gave him actually like an overview of what I was doing, and what I may achieve, and what are the dreams. Uh, so we talk much about building a food system and what it encompasses. Uh, so from there, it was like I have been having, because Google is also a development specialist, bachelor in international development, uh, nong ko kaloy masters ke as well in social work and community development. So as someone who has been into community development, so there are a lot of aspects of community development. Ken actually visit Vietnam and some of other countries, and he also lives in Australia, where agriculture is one of the core sectors of development. Jan Australia, I might ku Kaipur. So He had that, but for him, he knows it at the aspect of development, but the technicality of it, like the technical aspects, it needed someone. So Golweli Yena have been having this dream, but how we can really achieve it may be the issue. Well, like in Gugwai, I think it's like we share a common dream, and on Pio now go here. I wanted to form a youth-led organization that will be empowering youth in agricultural production. One thing, food insecurity is one of the major problems in South Sudan. We need people to actually work towards eradicating it. So now, if we are sharing the same, okay, my suggestion is, why can't we form an organization, a youth-led organization? I told him from my experience in CRS, out of all the projects that we implemented, we only had one. We only had one component of the project that was making impact in the lives of people, and that was agricultural youth engagement. So, and it was just a component. So, what if we form an organization which will concentrate on this? So he said, okay, that's fine. So we scheduled a second meeting 1 year, and from there and developing, then I worked towards shaping that dream. I put it into writing. Now look, in our second meeting, I presented to him what I envisioned, how I want this thing to look like. And it was like, yeah, this is brilliant. So let's go ahead with it. So I told him, Nabulotin, okay, we have to involve some other guys. Koi will be working, and that will make it more of a youth initiative. So I identified two guys. One was pursuing his masters at Wageningen University in Netherlands. He is an agricultural economist, and he did his masters in rural development. So that means it was almost the same thing. Anong ran tinda Deng Garang is in Hungary. Aloy masters in agricultural biotechnology. So I was like, this one, if we come together, so let me invite these gentlemen and we understand from them what is their perspective on this. So we scheduled the third meeting. Now in the third meeting, we agreed now to form Combat Hunger in South Sudan. It was still not Combat Hunger in South Sudan. We gave ourselves a task to come up with the suitable names, with everything. Then we gave ourselves 1 month to search for every information. Then we come and consolidate that information. So in our fourth meeting, we had several suggestions, different names, and we finally settled on Combat Hunger in South Sudan because it was giving us a clearer picture of what we will do for our country, putting into consideration that all of us were scholars at different parts of the world. And there is one particular question, even you, Paul, and the rest of the ladies, you might have answered when you got that opportunity, that what will you do for your country? That is the after studies plan. So the three of us had that question to answer when we come back. So now that one, definitely this one is one of we do this, we will achieve the major objectives of the scholarships that is sponsored us to different parts of the world. So in Kachin Waguben want to combat hunger in South Sudan with the slogan that let's build a free hunger society. That was our slogan. We had different mission. We had a mission So from there, watchable Rojalia task, let's give ourselves 1 month now to try to come up with the profile. Go consultation, go kujalo. We gave ourselves 1 month, and uh, and after 1 month we convene a meeting again. We are sharing an ideas. Uh, I took the major task because NKLU in the humanitarian world more than the other guys. The other two were still at school; they have not worked. So I took I took the major role of giving myself a task to maybe develop it and aligning it with the policy with the policy implementation and the policy guideline within the country, and with the goal that the country wants to achieve. So from there, in Kachin Wong Nang, what we refer to as the combat hunger in South Sudan. So we did a lot of consultation. Who anything, yeah, any information to you go garping. Yeah, it was not an easy task, especially for me. Kind of to pull it. So I was double tasking. Analog classic at the daytime, now evening, can do my evening prep. Then I will start now working from 10 to 3 a.m. in the morning, working on making this thing a concrete idea. You know how it is to build something. Yeah. So in journey of combat hunger in South Sudan, it was just a mere idea. We put it in writing, and it is something visible, and everyone is actually talking about it because of the things we are doing. So yen kichu jal beloy what we talk with the profile. We send it to our legal advisor in Juba, Molana Konukle. He followed the processes of registration, and we are now legally registered as one of the national NGOs in South Sudan under Relief and Rehabilitation Commission Act. So we are recognized in the country. So KN we had several components. Kai suppose Bukaloi, but we took one major thing, which was eradication of food insecurity and mobilizing youth to engage. Yen I think there is a lot of potential. Can be can identify when you are solving if you want to solve a problem, you first need to identify the root cause of that problem. And after identifying the root cause, you need to gather enough data to inform your decision making. Yes, so after gathering that data, you analyze it. Then now you do the prioritization on what is the best course of action. So and we develop a strategy, been work implementation that been working low. And in project management, there is what we refer to as the adaptive management, where you adapt from the previous project that was implemented. You take what was the best practice, then you put them into your programming. So in and I feel like youth engagement is the only way to go because most of youth are idle. Chin and có già này chọc kì kuna nắp chọc nè có cái dùng beloy I reflect back damon nan te to wo pa ni jeng ku run chen ko kurare ayin ji kwal kwa ja ko kur ke tier kro and above ke runa chi chok kin no you even kin chi. So it can give me an idea like now look can mobilize kubura anban bupur, especially youth who are idle. Kira anban abanang enough to eat. Kuna nong anban enough to eat, then you will be able to sell the surplus. That is now the aspect of agribusiness when you're in the Yarala Kirare. The agribusiness comes in because agribusiness basically deal with the marketing of agricultural produce. Then the aspect of market linkages and value addition. That is the aspect of agribusiness. But before you sell, you must produce. I think you must produce. So the mission of the mission of combat hunger in South Sudan is empowering youth to increase agricultural productivity. There is a lot on our website that you can read our problem statement that we want to solve and the strategies, our goals and objectives. They are on our website. We also have a LinkedIn page where we do our updates and we write some inspirational stories and what we are actually achieving and what we are envisioning to achieve. So, you good thing, good thing number one, you good thing, yeah, na you we have enough resources because we have available human capital, both skill and unskilled, are talking work. One on an arable land that is actually lying fallow, kitchen run, the thin rock, one on you, one on a call, which we can actually tap, and we, especially now that the world is moving into green energy, so we can use the available the enough sunlight of South Sudan, we can use it for production. So putting this thing into consideration, we think it is easy for us to do a large scale farming. Then the question was, Buloy, can we just go and farm? Or can we just go and call people on the street to go and farm? Which was a very critical question to answer. Now, this is where an advocacy comes in. So we developed a double-edged strategy of advocacy and action to combat hunger in South Sudan. So I think na lui koi mobilize bu ko jog lul ku la yep krok ku por ka chiran be gam. No one will accept. So the only way le ben walk in loy if we are taking an action ku be ranting Deng Garang with his 2 masters, 1 degree and a postgraduate diploma is farming. So why can't I farm with my class 8 or form 4 certificates? So that was an advocacy with action, which is the major strategy that Cheese is using. So gogungulo yen wabudum da bu kan loy bu pur kudom bu pur gene wabu ka jala chol kulel ku yen ka ja bu pur jababa bu pur dom bu pur gene I youth ka bu ka targeted ke ka bu ke chol luitin ke kabira and think farming is not only farming, but you can also generate income from farming, especially if someone farm, if there is a commercial farmer, then this is a job creation. So it was advocacy with action. That is what led us into what we are doing currently. So what you been after Ken registration tool and everything, we went from Australia to Nairobi by South Sudan. Then we met with the stakeholders. We met the RRC, we met the community leaders, and we met the Ministry of Agriculture at the state level, so that we will go ahead. Can without any consent. A good practice, because there should be a sustainable use of resources. So another thing in humanitarian, there is a principle of do no harm approach. So now law implementation do a consent, so that nong 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 create le buloi ko kay ko kun. So we took those steps. A good book community work yen pin. Loku jolku pin da jolku yew. And that was the beginning of the activities of combat hunger in South Sudan. Uh, with the action we are doing, that is not actually our main target, because our main target, but our main target is to move youth into farming. So we design a small project that we call Youth Agribusiness and Resilient Project. This Youth Agribusiness and Resilient Project are now 5 components. Among 5 components. One major component, a supply of agricultural subsidy, that is agricultural seeds and tools. One of the major components. The second component, a youth a job creation for youth, because Nigeria mobilized kupurke, there is a self-employment. It's a component within the Youth Agribusiness and Resilient Project. Number 3 component, training and mentorship. Training and mentorship. We will be conducting extension trainings. One on like our program manager, it's an agronomist. One on extension officer, who is also an agronomist. So these youth, they can mobilize. They can be trained on sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture encompasses water conservation, forestry, and sustainable way of farming. The use of organic. It can one component. Another component is training on market linkages and value addition. One of the component of Youth Agribusiness and Resilient Project. Chanaki jalpur ke chabab ke ka ken bi keloide. We wanted to generate income from this farming. And where do we find market? That is the best question. So we wanted to train them on market linkages. How do they find market? So they will find market. They will start from the local market, identification of the market, and then the value addition comes in when they know what is the preference of their customers. So the aspect of value addition of Ben, where we have the
Yeah, my internet or your site, Deng Garang Kuei hang.
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. So that market linkages and value addition, the train they will know where to sell, and what is the quality of the produce that they will sell. Therefore, this project, you think we envision that now two youth to mobilize. Therefore, there is a self-employment. There will be enough local production that will boost local productivity. And when there is production, okay, there is consumption. And whoever that want to consume, you man ran kinpur, koi when you call galway, chen ke certificate in class 8, loom, ko je kuru bepur. Abijal go no ran kir dengara. So now loy ke like 1,000 bucks. Loy ke produce, loy ke inject into the local market. Ke wo waba ke yo. Then ke yung car. So that is all about combat hunger in South Sudan. Into, because these things are interrelated. because combat hunger in South Sudan is implementing youth agribusiness and resilient project, which is the core interest of Alakir and your core interest of what combat hunger in South Sudan is doing. My final remarks on combat hunger in South Sudan. We are actually, this is our second year. Our first year was basically on plan, but our second year is for implementation. So what you got doing the implementation, but we are still looking for partnerships and funding. Therefore, now look funding logo you and partnership, then that will actually boost our implementation. So this project was designed to be a 3-year project targeting 150 youth that will be mobilized to invest in agricultural production. So BK supported with seeds and tools. BK supported with training that encompasses market linkages, agronomic practices, I did not mention the aspect of finance, financial literacy. Chana jawu jalio ke ba ke mai de ka kor bu pyo ko. Another thing kor bu pyo ko ja like working as a group, things to do with cooperatives, cooperative management. How do you work as a group? So there is an aspect of village, they call it village saving and lending associations. It's BLSA, one of the components that is within the resilient project. Jana ji ko trade the work in the kato, that saving will be able to sustain them. Kukabuke kyo investing more. Kimana chi dom den chi pur ka wu ju ja chi ke loy. Now kaka be are thinking of buying a tractor, going into mechanization. So the aspect of modern farming of Jala Ben. So yen ke loy ku and that is all about combat hunger in South Sudan. Back to you, Akwal Philip.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I have nothing to add, Alaki. Take it away.
Absolutely. Can I just share that I like your entrepreneur spirit? It is shown throughout your story, and I like how you clearly start from Sobat Primary School. I went to the school next door, Imatong Primary School, so I know Sobat very well. Um, the the presentation really is well detailed. So if somebody is thinking of the same question, what can I do for my country? I believe this will help them very much. Personally, I'm excited about this project. Especially, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I believe when it comes to food, we probably have a trade deficit with in the country. So I'm hoping and I'm excited for the bigger things you guys are going to achieve. This is big. From the advocacy perspective, I'm excited from about your grassroots approach of giving people the tools and leading by example. Banyuot ke nana deka poor is for everyone, including cultural college. Your master's, your PhD, at the end of the day, you will sit down and eat. So, food and making food is nothing to be ashamed of. Um, I also like the sustainability aspect of it, and I was hoping you could explore more on that. Sustainability, as in when people have gone through the program of farming, achija domdena chikapur, chake is equipped with skill. What is your estimate of how long it takes for someone to be fully independent? Abe nang domde, abe apur, abe kakeler in the market. If you can elaborate on that, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Alakir. Yeah, actually, the aspect of sustainability is one of the core components in every project implementation. And without sustainability, okay, all you did is in vain because na loigada which you bet on me. You don't actually get the results of that. Sustainability comes in this way. Nigeria and mobilize who Louis supported with seeds and tools, who his skills to apply, who knew that ben 18, who knew the loan when ben work ben can manage, and how to reinvest that maybe into other off farm activities, because it may not be basically farming, it is a farming as a business. So na jaga ku pur ku chake ga ke maybe ileba wo kun ga lu bin ga lo ku kan titedu ku yi ka ti ku yi ke ga. Therefore sustainability comes in there. Another aspect of sustainability comes in tikin pur war thereby krew kwa chi ke ga cham ga dia anon ka yi ke choy ko, okay, ku jela ka ba ke cham ko ta yi ke no pet, because you are thinking of reproducing again. So training someone on Baran but train, giving him the skills is enough strategy for them to sustain that, to sustain that, because na bar ku yenera an fin bi chame kule ku ka ku te yen loitin keran kene will not build resilience, and that thing is not sustainable. Jana baya bege fin ku yen, but I skills to do that, skills to farm, skills to do the marketing, skills to know the value addition, and skills to do the diversification. Then that is enough sustainability, and all these are encompasses within youth agribusiness and resilient project. Thank you. And another thing to forget, there are cooperatives union within the states. So Nike youth can mobilize, they are maybe 30. Ke train, and once their capacity increase, ke institutional assessment alloy, and they are actually we will enhance their registration into becoming a cooperative, and they join a cooperative union. So definitely that will help them leverage funds, and it will also help them leverage agricultural seeds and other agricultural subsidies from other partners. So that is the aspect, the major aspect of sustainability.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think, Adij, it's your opportunity to chime in.
My time is
Thank you.
yeah. Deng, welcome. By the way, this is really a very good project, and I'm very happy. So, by the time I joined ALU, like I check on work and knowing the opportunities, I think that you can create the opportunity and challenges that are facing Africa. The opportunities can happen. And one of the opportunities that we have, the great opportunity that we have, is agriculture. Yeah, fashion designing and yeah, agriculture and also fashion and design is one of them. So and agriculture has solved a lot of things in the country. So when agriculture is implemented, it can help in other ways like rain and also food and all those things. So we come at the being question. Okay, when he was narrating his story of career journey, one of the things that that was amazing is how volunteer in a tribe re volunteer, right? Kitty one of the hardest thing today, right? Searching for the job. Barajaga imiara luyu imi transport over core, pin kudu chamba core, gigaban. It's easy. And many of the people right now, many of the youth, Kitty Ebera and do and you remain jobless. But creative like man at university, hinting experience skill, uh, kului volunteer. There are many chances they can maintain because HA is value volunteer not to just work for free. So one of the lessons that we need to learn for sure and great, very important. Kaba teach like Deng has narrated about the organization and a lot of things. Like you can know your goals toward this project. Goal can cover ship toward this project, and how are you going to make sure that you will use to engage in this goal to achieve them? Chima, John, to be an example. You may decide back in our goal, uh, back you back encourage. Maybe in future back in a big factory that will produce agricultural products, so that you take will produce. Back watch it on cake, which can really encourage them a lot. Or how do you want to do it? How are you going to really motivate them? Because in that country whereby there's insecurity is too much. Which and brand you jari lupur. Look at you lupur. But what is the best motivation behind a goal that I'll get money, I'll do this thing.
Yeah, basically, I will begin actually with the aspect of insecurity and how it can be done. To be honest, insecurity it's a perception. Kukakinto when insecure, generally in South Sudan. When I was working for Catholic Relief Service, and in the majorly 8 counties, Keloike implementation, uh, the whole of Nuer region within Bor, Duk, Trichis, until Eastern Equatoria. We had CRS had one thing, Rian CRS Kenem Mugda. So you just get into the bush, in Muga ID do we to drive again ID day. So you just nano give uh that thing did not deter us. Uh, insecurity at all. But insecurity we are the one actually creating it. And this is whereby the aspect of policy comes in. If there is a policy guiding implementation, Timan in South Sudan, food insecurity is one of the major problems, and the government is aware of it. Akor be eradicated by everyone, by the government and the partners. Timan, we are actually partners to government, wanting to achieve the same mission. So when there is a guiding policy on issues of insecurity, you follow. Another thing, uh, in the barati din ka yin ro loy woy. Sometimes the kin pandu loy yin loy woy tindu ku yetatin. Ku kor tim tite do ku yin ro tit. Our villages have been deserted. When get is ke ka war suppose when get purtin. But war bi wo ker yo chana yu lel ke tira. Na jel ko chimana yer when ran. I will take an example. Will wait you in when ran. We chiat chien yi ko kara ne chu kun win chake ngade ay ga lo ka chi ku bila biel pinyala, but na yi chiatin ka lo chiat chien as well. So as we know, our major threat even work out here. So but na duku, and then we develop the strategies when worker routine kara an kana lo chiat chien a good do today. That should not deter us. Can buy a kin pull completely buy a pull, but I know quite young real pure. Like Kolnyang no mundi to min pel ba ken kan jaltin is there and a jol pen guy. I used to visit him. Kolnyang up to now he is there. Kan nang koche jal marman ke koito. The same thing delayed in all our villages ka kanong tong ila year. The thing is akor bu wachen mar, and then we looked at how we can achieve this. The first thing, the first thing to achieve this goal, immobilization. Because mobilize, because can you piat, because as I'm telling you, is no longer a story. You know, alwela yen ya jen ganum lu. Okay? Ya jen ganum lu. Kwa yi panchol denga janga ilo kulwele pyo che mier kim de chini ya mier. So, the kin en ga cham ke ye ya to china gubalo de chol. Te ye lwela kan nong na kwa tinu ku te pin din la de maratiel. As I'm telling you, this year may not it may not be the same, and it will not be like the other years till we pass, because yet no much lu because deal of because the humanitarian aids a team better the way it was, because the world is facing a lot of crises which are ranging from wars, climate changes that are creating national catastrophes. So Pinom AI is trained in terms of giving aid. So South Sudan it can reduce. So yet no much lu kuran ban lo rur ku ke ti ma la yew ti mare le la kay ju to e choke e lo ka ja la pu. So ke kor below now e be ko ke be supported be mobilization lo chan bran ban be ting farming is not just farming, but you also need to put in other aspects. If you are farming
That's very important point. Some people, I think, motivation it has hard. People need like something which are very painful to motivate them. I think using biscuit is not working. So we can hear them yoga. I think I like that perspective. It will motivate more people. And now we can notice actually Facebook algorithm is actually making our content not to be seen by others. I don't know why. Anything that is positive but I think
I'm telling you, kuna entertainment buka dir buka dol bunga loy. Eje
yeah,
champer.
anything you can go to you pro what I read but now again when nang deep intellectual conversation but now coin I don't think I knew what I read okay but we will find ways for this message to reach out to reach more people I think but yeah I don't know.
Yeah. Ian, this thing of Trump cutting aid, it is going to be in two-way for Africa. It's going to be for Africa to struggle and make sure that they work, or people become poor and hungry for life.
Mhm.
You see, this UNHCR has been doing, USAID has been doing a lot of things. Even in the refugees camp, I think now it will be the time for refugees to go back home, because they have been doing a lot there. For sure, agriculture, one of the good projects, and it's surely going to work.
Yes, I'm back. So,
Welcome back.
yes, uh, you asked about our specific objectives for this project. One major objective to enhance youth engagement in climate smart agriculture and agribusiness. We in starting it from mobilization and showing them what to do. Another objective is improve food security and economic stability for youth farmers, and is strengthening youth capacity through training, mentorship, and access to agricultural inputs. So when in Galen, this one along about 5 components where we will have the capacity building and training. This capacity building and training in training on agriculture and agribusiness and financial management, in mentorship and coaching on modern farming techniques, in training on post harvest and handling of value addition. And ci jam when about agricultural input and resources. Bu ke ga bu demonstration farms bu ke ga lo ci mana ci youth run mobilize ke lo lu ke train. And ci jam when about market linkages and our expected outcomes out of this a benang increase in agricultural productivity and improve food security. So basically went within this project. We know every project a non-critical assumptions. And one of the critical assumptions they can about insecurity. So when you are implementing a project, your critical assumptions, you will always believe that they will never hold true. Okay, human, we will believe that there will be normalcy in terms of insecurity. There will be no major threat. I think, and when there is no major threats, then mean ko kaja deal po. I looking at that. Yen kechang we may believe one of our critical assumption is that abichian displacement, people will not be displaced. Kaja chibu be kar tong believe. But in the event that the late tong ke kaka chilubura lew. Therefore, yen ka yen hukuma yen jalbentin as a partner. Chiman when Karen back in lawyer have to consult the government that this is what I wanted to do. And this is, I signed the memorandum of understanding of what I wanted the government to do and what I'm supposed to do. You see, as partners. So that is doing this. This is now a strategy towards achieving those goals and objectives of the projects. So I think Interdil answered briefly that way. Adish.
Sure, in the answer, yes. Okay, the fact remains when the children again, China, the uh, support, let me say, USA support in Railway cards, it has caused people to go back there. So, okay, the fact remains that in South Sudan, there's plenty of land, right? We have a vast land. The issue is insecurity when the China and Luele. Okay, let me talk now of the villages that we have. Like that side of Atoy, it is now uh, left alone because of maybe say plat and all those things. Cool. If now on a good government that was really good for that was caring for the citizen, that side would have been a good farming side right now. Look at this place, yes, yes. It will now remain up to the community to do it. There are many ways they can look at until that change, though table like that. Like building the reservoirs, right? Reservoirs because look you achieve in the say that between ya don't get thing. Ku piu which a cheap pin to be a chower. I live a for agriculture, irrigation, and people farm. And let me tell you, but like there are many people who have done a lot of things. Even trees can be planted. But that could be the help of the government and the community. So agriculture is one of the most amazing thing to do. And another question can teach. Do you aim to make let me say if it happened you get a funding today, right? It happened to become a big organization and you get a funding today. What will you do with that funding?
It's a very, very good question and very critical question. Yeah, here a lot of national organizations because union funding of maybe $1 million. Kayin jor wani yen logo yigondo juba tiag diaro kedi and you become rich. And from there you may not get actually the second funding. So there are a lot of organizations that have actually died off from that, from the financial management and the reporting. In project, when you are developing a project, when you are writing a proposal, one thing, number one, you need executive summary of the organizations and what their mission is. Then when you design that project, you know goal that you want to achieve. Okay, you know strategic objectives that are guiding that. You know a theory of change that is guiding as a roadmap to achieving that particular goal that you want to achieve using that project. And then at the end of it, later, the king this budget is actually itemized. Each item is having its own budget, including even paying people who will implement that project, the number of people who will be employed, and how much each of them is going to be paid, uh, the budget that goes to activities. Then you cannot be funded when you don't have the monitoring and evaluation aspect within that project. It's something I know because I am an evaluation, monitoring and evaluation specialist. Even me, when I review a project and it doesn't have monitoring and evaluation aspect, then it should not be funded. Why? You may misappropriate the funding, but nothing will achieve so you have to clearly show that this is how you will monitor the projects, this is how you will allocate the funding, because the evaluation part and the monitoring part is looking at the quality aspect, the value for money. Let me say it that way, the value for money. So having a skill in this, and funding, okay, and yielding, okay, definitely I may not misappropriate this fund, because I will drop a proposal that is encompassing the budget, the activities, how these activities will be monitored, how the budget is going to be allocated to particular activities. So that is how you manage those projects. So I
Great.
hear you are in a position to manage any projects given, yeah, given that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I may not apply for any funding without, I cannot qualify or I cannot be eligible for funding if I have not met all these criteria. Thank you.
Wow, good. Okay. Kunongale, right? You implement the projects and you don't get the fund. You don't get the funding to make sure the project get pushed. So how are you going to do it, and how will you support yourself financially to make sure that the project work before you get any funding, or you I can fund can you right now?
Okay.
So how are you going to make sure that you guys continue with your mission to
Yeah.
provide
The
akan
project we
guys?
are implementing is the project we are in, yeah, the project we are implementing is self-funded. Yeah, through mobilization, the key idea the key by, okay, you may get a little donations from people. So through our CEO, that is where we got the small grants that we are using to implement these projects. And how we are going to do this is actually the roadmap of us getting a bigger funding. Because before you get the next one, that donor, how did you spend the penny that you got? Okay. Another thing is, when it is a business, we have established a demo farm, a demo youth farm. This demo youth farm, kabuke kurtin abuke gaj. Therefore, whatever that is going to be solved will sustain this project. Koi buluitin, kujela poor benina poor. So it is something that is going to sustain itself. Koi buluitin kunga will be sustained from this project. So even without funding, could you pour enough, we will be able to sustain our activities. So, NK answer to your question.
Okay, good. Do you have any criteria that check it out in place that local challenges we face, then we shall deal with them like this, like that, like that?
Pardon?
Okay, knowing that every project we have challenges like we face, right? So check review for
Yes.
those challenges. Is there a way that you like you organize, or no any toolbox you use to make sure that you balance the challenges, or question is clear?
Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of challenges. Maybe I didn't get your question clearly, maybe.
Okay, well,
If you can repeat it, I think that will be better. You can
okay,
maybe,
as the
yes.
South Sudan life and other things are concerned, okay, we have a lot of challenges, and one of them is
Mhm.
security. Another one is how the mindset of our community is having toward agriculture and farming, regardless of how people are going at the villages to dig and all those things.
Mhm.
So, are you guys aware of the challenges, and how are you trying to overcome them, or is there a way that you have planned to overcome them and make sure that you
Thank you.
the project?
Thank you. Right now, as I'm speaking, number one in Eloiku, we established a center. That center where our operation hub, when work our activities are coordinated at the farm site. Ya nabu ben Madina gulwe maktaba Madina, the time banana by it may not actually the coordination may not really work well. We establish an operation hub at the site. That operation hub abin koito keke lui abatotin in the compound. A few years nur nang a few, and maybe after some time we will also have internet within there. And I just have a rare can rare. That particular thing I will it's a quite cake entire already to think of resettling back into their villages. The challenge of insecurity, which you look for now, we have mobilized youth. Better dominated Pokabarotit because I call it I call it Jabun there, Pokangade. So we said instead by Arir, by a Chadror, go with dog by a it's rather by Eugene within this compound, and we will be providing you with maybe something. Burere no one away. So therefore, kara andula lui do me because we know our irto. Kenny year. So we have contracted these guys for a period of 6 months from paying the term to paying the tier pro. When the talking work for this farming season. Therefore, na ye paying the tier pro me because that center chuloity a ben ran longer no na bulatatin ran bulo kwa to bulatatin the number will increase yen ke chang de ya ran nong tim din bula yo bulataweti now next year ke ko abudi la purity as well nong ran bu pyo nong ran ben yar bulo ko ting ka bu lan du pande ba pande la yo ba purity. So that way
I
ko ko ke
think
number ko ja budil yen da will. So Nigeria number ko lui increase therefore ke issues of insecurity have lui reduce can ko ja bi ko activities and bana be are busy doing this and that. So one of the challenges that we are trying to mitigate, we are not eradicating it, but we are mitigating it. So eke talking. Ian Walker Ian Walker low at the farm site. If we are here then and we coordinate our activities within there. One of the key things in a chulo. Kuka branda which are non pure bula buy. Bula rare buy it. Another thing, Chuloy, we are doing mobilization. So Chabab is now willing to go back and farm. Challenges of mobility. Kiman daman nyarwer, what we can access. We will be completely cut off from town. But the only way they're going to work in mitigated, that's why it work rare thing, buloy a good dam and very poor bento. Now dry season then we are able to move. But we are also liaising with the government. Kuna kila niara ye one of the major challenges, which is the road. Now, now accessibility will be there. I took a step. I wrote an invitation to the governor to visit the site. Kunachila name it's someone who is also supporting the local initiatives. The challenge he has power to do that. No power to do that. So these are the few things local bouquet mitigate. Other challenges to beyond our control. Alternative in get up. So we will have an alternative to learn to teach in later, because every project has a piloting. We are doing a pilot. If it succeeded, then we continue now. But if it fails, then we identify the source of failure. Then now we reinvent the wheel. So all these have been put in place, and we have a clear strategy that is guiding our implementation. Thank you.
Great, great, great.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. It's a very exciting project. I'm very hopeful that things will go according to plan. And if they don't go according to plan, I know you will achieve great things, Deng Garang. Whether your next
Thank you.
project or the project after, it's just about coming back and keep trying it again until something sticks. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We, in the interest of time, like yeah, almost 2 hours now, we will do a follow-up conversation, hopefully in the next year or so. And I would be really excited to learn about the progress up to that point, as well as what are some of the learnings you guys have got. And this is a mission among a lot of people abroad who want to do something for their country. And you are not just helping the youth in the country, you're inspiring the youth across the globe who have the same mission statement, have gotten scholarship because they said the exact same thing and want to go back home and do something. Um, we will close with your neutral message to everyone, keeping in mind youth who might be your target audience, Big Ben, to your project, youth that are interested in doing something on the ground or not on the ground. How can they have a U-turn from this story? You might have potential stakeholders, potential donors in the audience, the potential people you can collaborate with in the future. So please encompass your U-turn message to everyone. And at the end of the video, make sure you put your website, LinkedIn, and where we can find you and follow the amazing work you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alakir. Yeah, I'll give my final remarks, and before doing that, there is one question in the chat, and there is a question on how do you blame youth who don't have the capacity to hire the tractors and farms management like we did. Yes, Nangayuan is not actually a blame. It's not a blame, but it is something that is missing, because when you are mobilizing someone, you are not blaming him, but you are trying to open their eyes to see what they were not seeing. So that is what I'm doing. I'm trying to let them see. I'm trying to conscientize them, because yen to year mean when ran okay could you ran because sometimes ran a little bit yes I see, not that this person was not seeing, but the person was seeing with the eyes, but it was not seeing with his full being. So Chan Bran Bakada Bedate Kubula Pide, that is an aspect of conscientization. So you take them through the aspect of conscientization. So what I'm doing, I'm not blaming youth for being idle, but I'm trying to open their eyes to see that farming is not for the poor, but farming can be a very lucrative business if you invest in it. If you invest your energy into farming, you will be one of the You may actually, you will create employment for yourself. I'll give myself as an example. Since I came back in January, I'm actually looking for job, but I am very busy, so I feel like I'm employed because whatever I'm doing on daily basis, because I'm doing two things. I'm doing the direct implementation. I have to supervise what is being done, and I'm also doing stakeholder engagement. So this is a job itself. So I have created a job for myself. Though not being paid, I am actually I'm satisfied with it, with what I'm doing, because I feel like I'm doing enough for myself. So in Kekulu, another thing, it's actually, I may say, it is an excuse that youth are in a capacity. Youth actually have capacity because the resources, the current resources are talking about. Chabab, ke kaya ya lo Gumbo Basic. And the money they waste in Gumbo Basic is actually going to millions of South Sudanese pounds. So if we invest that money that is being used for uniform launching, it can buy tractors for farming. So it's actually, yes. So I wanted to say that uh, kiyan damandi da jor ko wa youth ku ki resources ko jor a leisure. So we wanted to minimize leisure and actually invest in production. So yen kelon le ban question ayuen banen duno. So youth has a lot of capacity, but there is a lot of misplaced priorities. Thank you. A question in get do. So my U10 message by Jan Will the non wake away viewers we quite die. The U10 message is you will never succeed if you don't try. So, and failure is not actually the ultimate results. You may fail, but if you fear to try, you will not succeed. So, combat hunger is facing a lot of challenges within reach and out of reach. But these things are not deterring us to actually scale the heights to achieve our dream. So, kayin ye youth, kayin ye chabab, kunong kedun jata, you go for it. You strategize on how you will do it, and definitely chimani jengalwe la chin ke ria ko kwen wun chok. So in ke my U10 message chin ke ria ko kwen wun chok, so ke dun jata pet ku kwen chok, it will definitely succeed. Either it is a career, either it is a relationship, or anything. Jata ku ka korba loy, ke you need resilience, you need perseverance, and you also need to be self-driven. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you. Before you speak of Walcool, I wanted to mention and announce the next conversation is also about real estate. The only real estate is land. We will be talking to someone who has been doing residential and commercial real estate and one of the inspiring person in that area. And for everyone watching, please come back on Saturday at the same time and we will learn more about other amazing things you can do with land. Uh, Back to your work.
Yeah, no, you know what a coincidence. Because land be used for farming and for business, and now they're used for living, residential and commercial spaces in Gaben. So thank you, Dengara. You have set the scene for the next conversation, and I really like how you close it. That I can carry and Kubarat self-employed, there is so much pride in it. And and every your livelihood will depend on another person. So thank you so much. Video that I think our show today very deep and achieve Facebook algorithm actually actually youth coverage. So participation is very low. So what I will do, I will prepare stream Anna in the next 2 hours. I will make it to be stream again because this story need to be heard by many people because they're very powerful and I believe that these are the kind of things that our people need to hear. We share multiple times with the work you put in this. I think we need it to be heard. So thank you for your time. I know very late to go down and internet is shaky, but your resilience, your determination, your focus made this conversation so much powerful. And And we'll call career can work until the end, especially UN question kun jagati. We really appreciate. Could judge one of our U10 fellow wanted to join, but technical issue could not allow. But we add on our end, get on the screen. But next time, Ben. So thank you. We will have a next conversation. Hopefully, we will bring you back before December. Next year on different topics on this platform. Thank you for being a U10 champion, for being a youth champion, for being a community developer. That many people like you will move this community forward. Now I'm going back to think, what can I do for my country? You have decided what you want to do. I think you have accomplished. You want to combat hunger. Boom. Now I need something. I want to bring solution to public policy and get my education. This is a policy gap that she mentioned that I need to look into in more detail so that I become policy entrepreneur in another business. So so many opportunities you can inspired. So thank you, and thank you, Lakira and
Yes.
Dorcas, for facilitating this conversation.
Yes.